So I wanted to create this video testing the capabilities of this camera as a vlog camera. And it is not so great. I actually like the way I look in my favorite camera, which is this one, which I always use, which is the G7X. So this camera is not this great for vlogging. So now I'm switching, and in this video I'm not using the special effect that I usually use, which is I set the actual background light different. So usually it have it a lot more brighter, and it has nothing to do with the lights over there. It's actually coming from the internal camera. So for both of those cameras I didn't set any of those special features, so you can see how I exactly look like with the camera itself, how I sound. There was no external sound using as well. I'm using the actual speaker built in both of those cameras, and you can see how I actually look like in both of those cameras as well. And I do like the way I look in this one way more than I like the way I look in the other camera, which is the Sony. But the big thing about this camera that does make a big difference is this. It is small, it is handy, but we have some things about this that I actually dislike. And I want to give you the honest review of this after checking this out and testing it, and is it really worth the huge amount of price tag to this? You can actually get two G7X Mark II of this price. There's only one feature I really love about this camera. Unfortunately, the same exact feature is also available in the previous version of this camera as well. And it is the slow motion video, which my Canon cannot actually do. I love this feature. Unfortunately about this is that it takes really hard for you to figure out how to work it. It's hard for you to turn it on. And the worst thing about this is that it only can take only so much of those videos before it gets really heated up as well. And it can transform a very small video into huge, long, slow motion video. So 2 to 3 seconds it can be transformed for like a minute or so. And I heard that you can take 8-second video and transform it into like a 5-minute video just by slowly making the whole motion. And it is the coolest thing about this camera. Now, it is even more cool that it has the zoom feature to this. So if you like cinematics, this is big deal. Because of the zoom feature, you can zoom in to things that are so far away. Like let's say jet boats, somebody is skiing far away, somebody is doing something very amazing far away. You super slow this down, you put this on a tripod, you can capture some moments you can never capture anywhere else, just with this camera. So this is something that could only be done with this. Unfortunately, it's not low light enough for me to be able to use this for my uses. So one thing that I'm going to be doing with this is trying to figure out what things can I do with this camera. So zooming in is great, but macro photography, one of the things that I need a camera for, and I use it a lot for taking pictures, especially things that are close by and for things that I take pictures of. This is not doing justice. It doesn't give me the picture quality that I want for close by objects. And there's not enough low light capabilities for this camera as well. So the previous version of this is probably something that I'm starting to consider. And is this gonna really replace the G7X Mark II? No. The reason why it's not replacing it, and it's not gonna replace it, is very simple. This camera doesn't have the same specs and capabilities of the G7X Mark II. The specs this has are different. So you actually need two different cameras. You need a low light camera and you need a super zoom camera. But I can just use the DSLR for this. I already have a DSLR. I already have the M3 that can do everything this can in a little bit bigger package than this as well. So I have the super zoom lens over there. So the question to you is this camera really worth the $1,200 plus? And this is a hard question to answer. If you travel a lot and you want something super slim and you want everything done for you in a very small camera and you don't need to figure out anything, just press on the, take a picture and so on, this is great. The bad thing about this is the following. The menu itself is super complicated in this camera. Very, very complicated menu. And it takes a longer time to learn versus the Canon, which is so much easier. You don't even need to read the book and to figure out the menu and everything else to use it. This is kind of hard. There's a lot of awesome features in this camera, but what are the good of those features when the actual menu doesn't even tell you much about how to use them? It's a very small, slim thing about this camera, and then you have to figure everything out by yourself, going online and so on to the Canon website. Well, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I haven't had enough time to play with it. It doesn't have the ticking thing here that Canon G7X Mark II does have. This could be a deal breaker for some, of course. It has this, which is good. And it has the flash right here. It also has this, which is just awesome. And as you can see, when I took it out, it actually took the actual camera lenses out as well. But this is awesome because you can go right here and you can view and see everything inside here and see everything in the viewfinder. So this has something that is known as a viewfinder, which is electronic. And it even has something right here, which is great for people who need or have glasses on. But the bad thing about this is that you're paying an extra $300 or $400 just to have this feature here. The G7X doesn't actually have this feature, and this one does. Another thing about this is the following. It has this right here, where you can go and change. And here is the most favorite feature of this camera, which is the HFR right there. You put the HFR, you turn this on, and now if you want to capture some really amazing things here, all you have to do is to press this button right here, and what it's going to do is it's going to say shooting standby, and it's going to capture. And the funny thing is, something it doesn't tell you is that it's already capturing something that is going on right now. So when you have it at shooting standby, it's actually eating your battery as it is on. So your battery is going to eat that up very quick if you use this mode. Now, next thing you're going to be doing is to press on record. The funny thing is, this is a miscommunication here. It's not recording. It's actually already been recording. So all it's actually doing, it is saving what had been recorded before, which makes it super tricky for you to capture something, because what you have to do is to capture the moment, and then as soon as you see it, press on record, which means you have to capture it a few seconds after it actually happens. So if somebody runs very fast and you just saw it, press on record, which means it's going to save it and it's going to post it right up there, and it's going to be amazing slow motion video. And I did just that. I captured a few very nice images and some slow motion images as well with this camera, and I tested it out with the zoom and everything else, including with my animal. Well, I got some really nice pictures, and I took as well. And here is a movie. So turning it on, and here's another last thing. It's not really touchscreen. It's supposed to be sometimes touchscreen, but most of the time the only touchscreen we have here is to take a picture and just to press on the location. So it goes about and it feels, it actually goes and focuses on the area by just pressing on it. Otherwise than that, there was no real reason why it actually has this, because it doesn't activate anything. So it's not really touchscreen as much as it should be, like the G7X. And you can even flip the pictures like you can with the Canon as well. And just turn it off. So if you want to see it, press on play. Now you can see super slow motion mode of my pug actually capturing a piece of food. And I'll be posting that as well, or some other thing in here. So that's not the best one. Anyway, I just wanted to show you how it actually looks like, and make your own decision. Do you really need something like this? And do you really think that this is going to be something that you should be getting? Thank you so much for making all the way to the end of this video. Before I go and give you the verdict for this camera, please, if you did enjoy this video, subscribe to my channel. It is free for you to join. So here is my take on this camera. What should you be getting it? My verdict, and of course, is it worth the $1,200? Now, for the zoom factor for a travel camera, this is an excellent camera. You can take it to travel, you can go to places, you can be stealth with it. It is the ultimate James Bond camera. You can capture amazing action from very far away with a small camera, and nobody can know that you have a DSLR. This is definitely a plus for you. And if you want to do movies and you want to shoot movies on the smallest possible thing that you can have, which is handheld, and you want to shoot in like 24mm, you want to shoot in medium, which is 15mm to 75 and so on, and you also want to do super zoom, which is all the way to 200mm. This camera does everything for you. So this is like the ultimate camcorder camera, which is more like a camcorder than a camera. It is more like a very small camcorder that you can carry in your pocket. It is less of a camera, which actually brings it to the final verdict. This camera is great for a video camera. If you're looking for a replacement, the ultimate video camera in your pocket, this is it. If you're looking to take amazing pictures and you want to have the most possible resolution, the highest possible quality and so on, you have to get the processor to this camera, or you want to go for the G7X Mark II. If you're looking for something handheld, small, fits in your pocket, and also you can take it to different places. So I'm still staying with the G7X Mark II for my own videos. Now the question for me is, should I get the other Sony camera? Because the other Sony camera, the previous version of this one, maybe that's a great vlog camera. I have to test it out and see if this is better than the G7X Mark II. This is not a competitor to the G7X Mark II. This is a complementary, different kind of camera for different kind of uses. And this is something for you to consider. This is a great travel camera, and you want to figure out if your budget of $1,200 is made for this camera or it's not. So this is something that is really about the individual person. Now, if you want to get it much cheaper, you can wait a bit when the price is going to drop, and it's probably going to take a year or two before the next model comes out. Maybe around Christmas, it's going to drop $100 or so. So you're not going to get much of a discount here. But here is the big thing. Guess what? All the other cameras before this camera are going to go down in price. Also, you can get a steal on the G7X Mark II. And soon enough, the G7X Mark III is going to come out. In fact, I'm so excited and I can't wait until the G7X Mark III comes out. And I hope they didn't make the same classic mistake as Sony did and doing the super zoom instead of focusing on the actual consumer of this camera who wants to actually get the best possible quality in the smallest possible package as well. So this is it. This concludes this video. I say for what it does, this camera is a 9 out of 10 stars, and it is great for its purpose as a travel camera or a zoom camera that you can take instead of taking your DSLR. Now, is it good for photography? I would say for photography purposes, vlogging and so on. Well, vlogging, this is a 5. It's not so great, and it can't get low light situations. It's not good for something presentation such as you doing your own film yourself. You might have to get a different camera. And plus, for other purposes such as photography, macro photography and so on, no, it's good. It takes nice pictures. It can zoom in to something far away, but on the downside, it is not low light. It has trouble focusing on small things that are farther away, and with the super zoom you need a very good stabilizer, and at the end of the zoom it's not stabilizing good enough. So with that said, I am not really happy with this camera. I hoped and I wish this camera was much better. I wish it had a better stoplight to this. want more light capabilities, makes a better and a more amazing camera, and instead Sony, you should go and create a 24 to 100 something millimeter and give the best possible low light camera. Then of course giving you this extra 200 millimeter that you are not gonna really use as much if the low light capability is not giving you the best possible images possible, because as photographers we want the best possible image. Now on the other hand, if you're a videographer, you like to do videos, this might be the ultimate all-in-one video camera. So what it is, this is not a camera, this is a video camera. So with that in mind, think twice before you're buying this, and think twice before you're shelling out $1,200 for this camera.